think whatever I have achieved, and kind of generalizing a bit, but only when I have consistently put in hard work and effort, only then things have really materialized. But when I took anything for granted, kabhi nahi hua hai. So we used to kind of work from the client office till 7-8 p.m. or so. फिर dinner करके we used to go to our McKinsey का एक satellite office होता था Bandra में. So we used to go work out of that office from 9 p.m. till I don't know 1 a.m. 2 a.m. or something like that. Earlier it was ki only if you knew coding you could do so many cool things, but now if you know nothing about coding, that doesn't matter. Because of all the Shark Tanks and media kind of fanfare around startups, a lot of people think ki, oh wow, startup karoge to bahut paisa banega and let's say sure short way of becoming a billionaire or whatever. That's not really true.
So Abhishek, without wasting a lot of time, why don't you tell us about how your early years were, childhood, how did you make it to IIT Bombay? Was it always part of the plan?
So I'm originally from a very small town in Maharashtra, Amravati. I'm not sure many people will know, but it's near Nagpur. So born and brought up there. So did my complete schooling there, and I think what happened was, so my father had done his masters from IIT Bombay. So he knew ki engineering karna hai. And I had no clue of what I was doing in life till my 10th standard. At least he was clear in his mind ki engineering karana hai. So from 7th standard onwards, I started going to this extra classes where there were these professors who used to take 11th and 12th ka tuitions, which used to happen. So there were four of my friends, me along with 3 more people, started going to these classes where these professors used to just teach us maths, physics, chemistry and biology. The objective was कि just और कुछ तो side में सीख लो 11th 12th का, so that you can decide maybe in couple of years कि करना क्या है. IIT specifically actually came when, so this one of the professors that I was kind of going to for this extra classes, his name was Padhe sir. He basically painted a very rosy picture of what IIT is. अगर IIT जाओगे तो that's the place in India. If you go there, you will have best of facilities, the smartest people.
अभी भी people paint a picture like that, right? I mean, if you look at, there are web series made just on that, right?
Yeah, now it's quite common. At that point in time, I didn't know what IIT was. One more college. The colleges I knew were COEP in Pune because that's where my elder brothers and all had gone to. But IIT, one more college. Wasn't that aspirational. But he painted, he really put in that dream. If you go there, life is sorted. एक बार चले जाओ, you are set for life. So that's what kind of triggered it. I really want to go there.
And you ended up preparing in Amravati for the IIT, or did you actually?
No. So after my 10th standard, I went to Kota. I think a lot of people go there, and I think what you
anybody here who went to Kota?
So I was at Bansal classes. At that point in time, it was only one, and then it got kind of fragmented. So went there for 11th and 12th. Studied there for 2 years, and only studied, did nothing else. I think that is the hardest I've ever worked in life. I used to study 12 hours a day and only study, nothing else. So yeah, that helped and kind of made it.
So what was the All India rank that you ended up with finally?
So I got 47th rank in IIT.
Wow. So tell us about life at IIT. I think you said that was the hardest that you worked. So I'm assuming that you did not work as hard after that.
No, I think not at all. So what had happened was those 2 years were really tough, just studying. So once I made it, it was kind of a relief कि बस अब तो हो गया. I made it to IIT. So first year, I think I did nothing, no studying at all. It was such a fascinating place. Just entering into IIT, you have all the facilities that you can imagine. First time अभी तो बहुत common है, there was no Netflix and those kind of things then. तो हमारे यहाँ intranet होता था. This was a sharing of all files over local network. So we had all TV series, all movies, and you can quickly easily download it and kind of do anything, watch anything. So that's what first year was. It was just chill. नहीं ज़्यादा पढ़ाई नहीं करनी है. And the second thing that happened was before IIT, I think most of the people think whoever makes it to IIT, they have done well academically, at least for 8, 9, 10 standard and all. So you have this thinky, oh, I'm very smart now. Like I know what to do. I have good grades in 10th here, 12th here. But when you really go in IIT, you realize that everyone there is like either as smart or smarter than you. All of them have scored well. So that was a shock. Just seeing everyone there. So that's what happened. But made good friends like second, third, fourth year. So I was in computer science. Loved coding. Generally, it was very fun just to kind of do that. So yeah, from second, third, fourth year, try to do multiple different things. We had cultural fest, Mode Indigo. I think some of you might know this tech fest. So try to participate in all of those. It was just very different side of things. So just experimented, tried, different things.
Got it. So then, did you crack a coveted job from campus, or what was the story like from a career standpoint?
So I did bunch of internships in IIT. In second year, I went to Germany. So did a research internship with one of the colleges there. And then third year again, I did an internship in Bangalore itself at Intuit. So I pretty soon realized that doing only computer science and coding is not for me. The 20% part where you have to think and create new things is exciting, but the 80% part where you are just debugging code and kind of solving issues, that was very boring. So didn't really find it, oh wow, mujhe ye karna hai. So got clarity by third year that I want to do something more on the business or finance side, but only coding is, I don't think I could have done it for 10 years. So decided ki I wanted to pursue something else. Applied in fourth year, basically applied to these companies at campus. Got shortlisted in a couple of them, but didn't make it. So I was 80 karni, I got a shortlist. Gave the interview, day zero didn't kind of happen. Got a couple of banking shortlists also, I think Deutsche Bank and Morgan Stanley. Again, gave interview, didn't make it. And I finally made it to Oracle from campus. But coding to nahi karna tha, but okay, like that's the only job I could get through campus. But I was at least pretty sure कि नहीं करना है. So post that this was early last semester of like 8th semester में ये हो रहा था. So one of my seniors from Wing, he used to work at JP Morgan. And he basically told me ki, like you give CFA and all, like if you really want to go into finance. So I just kind of registered for CFA. And then in a couple of months, I requested him ki, I want to pursue like in JP Morgan also, so can you at least forward my resume? So he did all of that. So cracked the interview there and kind of joined JP Morgan just after campus. So that's how it happened. So I wanted to do actually actually consulting. But McKinsey tha shortlist aaya nahi tha tab to. Only very few selected people used to get shortlist. So didn't happen, but then joined JP Morgan. So I was there for a year.
What work were you doing at JP Morgan?
So I was part of the equity derivatives team. So we used to structure products for our clients, and this was the main team was based out of Hong Kong, and we used to have clients in South Korea, Japan, China. So like all these indexes that you see or stocks, so we used to sell some options based on those stocks to these clients. So the sales and actually trading team were based out of Hong Kong, and we were kind of the mid office who used to kind of do back testing, prepare presentations, do Excel work and all based out of Mumbai. So did that for a year. During that job, I actually got a chance to visit Hong Kong and meet these teams who were sitting out of Hong Kong, and it was like really crazy experience. Yahan pe to it was more like on our floor there were 100 people sitting, some people like me, so there were some people who were doing equity research reports and stuff. So okay-ish kaam, like itna koi super exciting nahi tha. But in Hong Kong, the energy level were crazy. You used to have traders sitting there, like kind of punching in trades, salespeople very aggressive, shouting. It was, the energy and vibe was very different, and I really wanted to do that.
But that's because it was the front office, right?
Yeah. So it became pretty clear that mid office, back office is not that exciting. I really want to be out there. And to make that happen, you
make more money there.
Yeah, definitely much more. Yahan pe to we were paid like nothing, almost nothing. So
your nothing is still a lot for many. So let's make it relative. A mid-office job at JP Morgan, there are a lot of even B school grads in today's market who will die for. But anyway, yeah.
Just to put the numbers in perspective, I think the job I got out of college, Oracle paid some 12, 13 lakhs or so. Like that was the salary. Uh, this job at JP Morgan paid 8 lakhs. Um, and I was kind of, okay, fine, like ye karna hai, coding to nahi karna, so it's okay to take a cut. Maybe it will help me in the long term. So that was, and the front office guys in Hong Kong, I think they made some $100,000 or so at that point in time. So whatever, 50, 60 lakh hoga tab kuch to. So that was the relative scale. So yes, money was definitely a big part of it. But even the excitement, the energy, the learning was so much different. Like our team used to work with the front office people, like sitting in mid office, and just the smartness was like 10 notches more than what I kind of experienced here. So I really wanted to be there. Like I wanted to be that smart. I wanted to learn and kind of make it, and that was the kind of milestone to achieve.
Awesome. So, hence you decided to pursue an MBA.
So there were two paths to kind of reach there. One was just wait it out, maybe 3-4 years यहाँ पे काम कर लो, and you might get promoted and you might get a chance to kind of go join either the London office or the Hong Kong office. A slow path. Maybe you will make it, maybe you won't. 1 in 3 generally kind of get a chance to go there. The second was you actually do an MBA, which kind of really helps. If you have an MBA generally from IIMs, you do get to go into the front office sales or trading or markets role. So that was the primary reason I kind of decided. And the secondary reason was my mom was always after me. So ये कि एक डिग्री से तो क्या होता है लाइफ में, like you only have a bachelor's degree, like that's nothing, you need at least 2-3 degrees. Education is very, very important. So that was always kind of the other push. So my dad actually did multiple degrees, and that's where I think all of this came from. So he's an engineer, did masters at IIT Bombay, then he did his LLB, then he did his MBA, and then he did his PhD. So he had like some 5-6 degrees, and back of the mind it was always there ki, oh shit, only 1 degree isse kya hoga. So that was the other that was the other trigger ki, oh really, I want to do some like more, not only bachelor's is not okay.
Who decided that you need to now, did you enroll for like a coaching class, or did you just look at the CAT exam and decide that, Arey, isko to, I will crack it in a few weeks, few days, few hours? How was the approach towards the entrance exam?
So the first time I gave CAT was actually in my 4th year, like just when I was finishing college. I think I got some 97, some percentage, and I think what I had was this notes from I think Time or some such class. I think one of my seniors had those notes. He gave me the books. कि इससे पढ़ लो हो जाएगा. नहीं हुआ. So next year, basically when I was doing my.
How did it feel though? Like it's a question that people often ask. I mean, as an IITian, did you feel that you had like failed at doing something, or did not bother you at all that you did not clear the exam?
No, it definitely hurt a bit.
Because like, I mean, as compared to the JEE, the CAT is, I mean, way easier, right? In terms of even intellectual capacity required to solve it. It's probably more a game of managing emotions and time management and stuff like that. But how did you take that if it was a setback at all?
No, it was definitely a setback. So I was very overconfident. कि हो जाएगा CAT तो like क्या ही करना पड़ता है. So I think I maybe flipped through some books. So maths and mental ability I knew कि अच्छे से आ जाता है. But verbal तो okay कुछ तो कर लेता हूँ. Like I just kind of went through some sample questions and all. And that's where I think my score was really bad. So it hurt a lot कि इतने overconfidence में I could have cracked it, but हुआ नहीं.
Just I mean, again, learning for everyone when you're talking about like, preparation and stuff earlier. I mean, even a 47th rank individual in one of the toughest exams in India eventually did have a problem cracking the CAT purely because of the fact that preparation was not in place. So it's not like things don't come that easy in life. We feel as if, must be kind of gifted with God-given ability. So obviously crack ho jayega, but it doesn't happen, right? Like it's so just something for you guys to reflect on.
This is actually quite true. I think whatever I have achieved, and kind of generalizing a bit, but only when I have consistently put in hard work and effort, only then things have really materialized. But when I took anything for granted, कभी नहीं हुआ है. So this the first time I gave CAT, it was fully overconfidence कि हाँ हो जाएगा, like कितना ही hard होगा. So कुछ नहीं हुआ. But the next time I knew कि if I put in effort, I will crack it. And that's what I did. So along with my job, I got this. I think there was this हांडा का फंडा type के classes होते थे तब.
Ravi Anda's classes.
हाँ,
yeah.
Ravi Handa. So there was again one of my seniors had his notes. So he gave me a PDF file कि ये पढ़ ले काफी अच्छा है. So I took a printout and I kind of really religiously studied everything that was there in that notes. I think कुछ 60, 70, 80 pages का कुछ तो था. The second thing I did was did a lot of practice exams. Again through one of this I think I don't remember which coaching, but I joined one
Mock
of them.
tests.
हाँ, mock test basically. So practice करना है. पता है आ तो जाता है, but generally I make a lot of mistakes. So I wanted to really do practice and kind of get that sorted. So that's what I did. Practiced a lot, gave a lot of mock tests, studied these tips and tricks and shortcuts on how I can really do it fast, because speed is what, like as you mentioned, ultimately matters. And yeah, that kind of helped make it.
So, I mean, what was your CAT percentile? What all places did you get calls from? How did you go?
So my percentile was, I think, 99.7-ish, something plus minus. I got calls from, so I had applied to all these main IIMs, got calls from Calcutta and Ahmedabad. And then Lucknow वगैरह बाकी था. Didn't get from Bangalore. So really happy, excited कि हाँ, finally I think इतना तो हो गया. Started preparing for interviews, and that too, I think I had reached out to few of my seniors and few people I knew who were already in IIMs कि मुझे करना है, like can you help guide me on what's the best way to prepare, because there were a lot of fundas out there, ये class कर लो, वो class कर लो. I didn't kind of didn't know what's the right thing to do. So I thought कि already कर लिया तो better है कि I just kind of ask them how should I kind of go about it. And I think the only thing I got from them was just reach out to more people, give some interviews from people who have already cracked it, and that should be enough for you. And that's what I really did. So just prepared a bit on what are the questions that generally website pe and all this was easily available. These are the kind of sample questions that come in. This is the kind of expected answers and stuff. So prepared all of that, gave I think 10 or 15 mock interviews through friends, family, or cold reach outs through people I knew. And yeah, that was my preparation phase.
And did you get a final admit from both Ahmedabad and Calcutta, or did
No.
Ahmedabad reject you?
Ahmedabad rejected me, only Calcutta.
So,
So I remember Ahmedabad was my first interview, and I was super nervous when I actually went for the interview. And nervousness really leads to very low performance. So you are not able to think through what answers you want to say, and you kind of fumble. You're in a rush to really answer quickly कि अच्छा कुछ तो बोल देते हैं क्योंकि वो question आ रहा है and there are like 3 people sitting in front of you. So made a lot of mistakes in that interview. Reflected a bit कि हाँ ये तो लग नहीं रहा है कि होगा अब तो, and kind of corrected that thing from for the Calcutta interview कि it's okay, I will be myself, let me be calm. Either they will like my answers or not, it's okay, but this is who I am, and I will be truthful. If you like my thinking, if you like what I have to say, well and good. If not, it's okay, I will figure out something else in life. So that kind of helped.
Again, if you had also cracked Ahmedabad, would you have chosen Calcutta or Ahmedabad, or you would have chosen Ahmedabad or Calcutta?
I think tough question. Retrospectively, like kind of looking at the experience of my friends and hearing from them, I should have chosen Calcutta. But at that point in time, if I would have gotten both, I think Ahmedabad was the brand and buzzword. Ki agar Ahmedabad ho gaya, to you have really cracked it. IIT Bombay was the best IIT. Ahmedabad kar lo, best IIM. So like that should be it. But yeah, looking back, I think Calcutta, somehow the right choice was made for me.
So tell us about your Calcutta days. How was campus life, and as compared to the IIT days, how was IIM experience different?
I think very different. IIT days, it was very small group. Like generally didn't interact a lot. Had a small group of friends. Used to generally hang out with them. We used to do a bunch of coding, hacking, या कुछ discussion or watching TVs and movie series और वो सब होता था. So it was more like जो मग्गू या पढ़ाकू होता है ना, तो that was the phase in kind of IIT. So did थोड़ा बहुत participate in like this Mood Indigo and all, but not massively. So compared to that, IIM was very different. IIM was all about making friends and kind of doing everything apart from ACADS. Like ACADS, ठीक है, आता है, कर लिया है, did decently well in IIT. But this was more, I want to kind of develop the softer side of skills. So hard skills, I knew I had, at least I had decent grasp ki analytics could hai. Generally the thinking wise, things are okay. But soft skills wise, I was really bad. Didn't really know how to work with groups, communicate well. So all of that was my focus in IIM. So yeah, I think IIM was great. Like Calcutta was amazing. Just the atmosphere, the nature, the kind of people that somehow get selected to Calcutta. So I made my best friends there. I think till date, the closest friends I have, including like Nisarg. So all from IIM Calcutta. So it just was amazing. Like the best experience ever. Also, I think one of the highlights of Calcutta was you get to go on an exchange program. So for one semester, so you get to kind of select one of the colleges, either in Europe or US. You can kind of go wherever. And I went to Belgium, and that was the really mind-blowing experience. Just seeing how things happen there. You are there for. I was there for 3 months. In the college I was there, so there was zero attendance. So you get to travel, you can attend some classes or you can do whatever. So I traveled a lot, explored multiple countries, met so many people, and you have these people from all IIMs kind of coming there. So every IIM, say generally 100 people go for this exchange. So you have like every city you go to, you will see someone or the else from some or the other IIM kind of there. So groups वगैरह काफी अच्छे बन जाते थे, and I think that was really a fun experience of just kind of exploring something very different than what you have kind of done.
Tell us about internship experience. Was it easy for you to get your internship, or how did that process go? Were you worried, nervous? Did you prepare a lot for it? How was that?
So, so actually, along with my first job, like before I joined IIM, so I continued doing my CFA, and I completed it just like before joining IIM. So that part was sorted. मुझे पता था कि at least when coming into IIM, I knew कि I wanted to go into finance.
Technically, एक और degree add हो गया.
हाँ, kind of. So, तो target ये था कि अच्छा IIT हो गया, CFA है, तो maybe this will help me kind of go into finance. And that was my objective kind of for joining IIM. What happened was after joining, generally you get to hear so many things. A lot of people used to go into consulting and some selected people used to go into finance. So spoke to a bunch of people, some seniors, some people who had kind of passed out 10 years before from IIM, just to kind of get their guidance. Sorry, just to get their guidance ki what should I do in life. जाने के पहले तो full confidence था कि this is what I wanted to do, but after going in, all that confidence was gone. Maybe consulting also seemed very nice. This is so cool. And finance तो है ही कि हाँ, you will make tons of money and why not? Like so exciting job. So spoke to all of them and figured out कि I would really want to do something different in life. Eventually, I want to do something of my own. And for that, and मुझे business करना था basically. And for that, seemed like consulting is the right path because you will kind of get to work with so many smart people, smart businesses, learn business side of things rather than only kind of working on your. Just finance, mein you are mostly working individually or in a very small team and on deals itself. Like you really don't get to talk to a bunch of people, see how businesses are created, and seemed like consulting is the right place to kind of go and learn those things. So that was one of the key reasoning behind kind of selecting like consulting as the key thing. So what happened was on when internships happen. So internships are like supremely important in IIMs. If you crack the right internships, generally you will get the PPO if you kind of don't screw it up. And if you get the PPO, then that's life is sorted. Like second year, you don't have to really study a lot. So and you have to make a choice between consulting and finance before, because day zero itself, the first slot, you either go to consulting or you go to finance. So you can't kind of be in two buckets. So chose consulting, had a decent profile. So because of IIT Bombay, JE rank, as well as CFA, I think getting shortlist was not that tough. Preparing for it kind of took a lot of effort. The interviews that used to happen were very different. Like it was all case study based. So that required a bunch of reps. So we used to kind of create these groups of 3 people who were interested in consulting, and we used to kind of practice cases together. So one person used to kind of give the interview, one person used to take the interview, and third person was the observer who used to kind of critique after we practiced and all. So it took a lot of practice. And Octobers are when the interviews happen, and tab tak to you don't have any ACADS results out. Basically, first semester ka bhi result nahi aata hai tab tak. So it's all based on your past academic track record and the interviews that you give. And these are pretty like half an hour type interviews. So you like in 1.5 hours you will know did you kind of make it or not.
And I'm assuming you were thrilled with your internship.
Yeah, actually, so it was all and more than what I imagined. So McKinsey is like hallowed brand name. Even when I was in IIT, I knew ki this is something very aspirational. Ki oh, if I kind of get to go here, like I would have really made it in life. Like all the big CEOs and all that you hear, and it was called CEO Factory. So if you kind of go there, like it will really help you kind of achieve whatever you want to kind of do in life. And it was so true. Like when I kind of joined there, the people were amazing. I worked on one of a banking engagement. We were working with an Indian bank, and they were planning to kind of launch a new credit card division. And they wanted someone to come in, see what's out there in the market, where are white spaces, and what could be the potential offering that they could launch in the market. So I didn't really expect they will give me a life. Like, the expectation was, yeah, maybe I will help out some team member who is doing some kind of work. So I was the only person responsible for kind of doing this project, which was a live project, which bank actually wanted to launch a new product. So kind of do everything in 2 months. So do a complete diagnostic of the market, figure out what's the like where are the white spaces and what is the offering that we can launch. So very good projects, directly working with the head of the credit card business division and the CEO. This person was reporting to the CEO. So working with them while creating this thing. And the best part of McKinsey was very smart people. Like all the team members I worked with, be it partners or even the junior member, very helpful, very smart. Like that's when you kind of get the feel, oh, wow, this is very aspirational. This is like, if I can stay some time in McKinsey, learn and become as smart as them, like that's what I wanted to do. So it was amazing. Like the experience was very, very good. And that's what kind of propelled me ki like yahi theek hai. Seems like I really made the right choice और यही करना है मुझे आगे.
And did you work hard during your internship?
Yeah, internship was pretty intense. I guess some of you would have kind of heard. In consulting also, banking is the kind of sector where it's the toughest amongst all the things you do in a consulting kind of company. Long hours, difficult problems, tough clients, all of that was true. It was super intense. Like similar to the IIT day, like the quota days, I would say. We used to start early in the morning, and like first shift used to be at the client side. So this client was in Lower Parel, so we used to kind of work from the client office till 7-8 p.m. or so. फिर dinner करके we used to go to our McKinsey का एक satellite office होता था Bandra में. So we used to go work out of that office from 9 p.m. till I don't know 1 a.m. 2 a.m. or something like that. And this happened daily. So it was tough, but didn't feel कि oh कितना सारा काम कर रहा हूँ. It was fun. Whatever work we were doing was quite good. So yeah, it was exciting. Lot of effort, lot of hard work, but it was worth it. Like just.
And you knew you were going to get a PPO, I'm assuming, at some point during the internship.
So the chances are quite high that you get it, but you never know. The good part about McKinsey was, I think after we finished our internship, once we joined back on the campus, within a week or so, they will tell you, did you make it or not? So in a week's time, I got the call, ki, haan, Abhishek, you made it. And like, okay, I was over the moon. Ki, theek hai, ab to,
now I can go on exchange in peace.
Yeah, exactly. So it was really relieving when I kind of got the call. But I think a lot of people didn't get it. So yeah, chance to hota hai.
So I'm assuming, did you then think of applying to other companies, maybe shift to finance, or because finance would still have paid more than consulting, and a lot of roles would have been better pay-wise, not in terms of the work necessarily. So did you think of applying to those, or were you like, no, this is the path ahead for me now?
I think by that point in time, I knew this is something I would want to do. So given that I knew long term I want to do something on the business side, so consulting seemed the right next step. And in consulting, McKinsey was the best kind of place. so didn't kind of think कि और कहीं apply भी करना है. I didn't actually apply anywhere after that. This is locked in. I want to really do this thing, and mind was set कि अब let's kind of worry about other things. No need to worry about the job or figuring out what else to do or can I make more money. Definitely banking had much more money, but I guess in the initial part of your career, at least I like the JP Morgan example also, I didn't really take decisions for money starting mein. I think eventually you will make money. I don't think initial part of your career you really have to worry about how much money you make. What at least what I optimized for was for being in the right place, getting the right kind of learning, and eventually you will kind of make it.
So, can you tell us about some of your memorable projects during the McKinsey days, and how long did you spend in McKinsey?
So I was there for more than 6 years, like 6 years, 3 months.
Okay,
A long
so
time.
so that's a pretty long time. So,
Yeah.
how was the experience? Full time working, internship. Obviously, you told us about that. But in terms of working there full time, what all parts of the world did you get to travel? What kind of companies or sectors did you specialize in? And generally, memorable days. Big learnings. Anything you'd like to share?
Got it. So McKinsey was a crazy ride, like throughout the 6 years. What happens is generally initial couple of years you will do diverse kind of projects. 3 months you will do one sector. Next 3 months you might do pharma. Uske 3 mahine baad you might do banking, and then you might be in a mine in a god-forsaken place. Like Jhasugoda mein there was this one mine, and we used to kind of go there. I didn't go there, but like some of my friends went there. But that's how generally the first 2 years in consulting kind of pan out. You experience different industries, different problem statements, and work with different people to figure out what you would really want to do in McKinsey. And third year onwards, you kind of choose a stream, either banking or pharma or something else. So for me, first 2 years was I worked a lot with banking clients and pharma clients. Liked actually both, but somehow kind of got more opportunity to work more with banking people. So kind of that really panned out. I worked in banking, one of the countries in Southeast Asia, to help create their 5-year plan. And this project was funded by Japan. So I was there. So the way it used to work out was 2 weeks we were in Japan, 1 week we were in this country, small country. So that's how kind of a month. So every week I used to go to like Sunday evening I used to go to Tokyo from Mumbai. Monday morning reach there, go to office. Till Friday I was in office. Sometimes I used to come back Friday night to India and then again go back Sunday evening to there. So it was very different, very fun kind of project. Reason being, it was so I had, my manager was from Turkey. One of my teammates was Chinese. I was Indian. There was one more, I think from US or something. So we had very multicultural type of team working in Tokyo, which is a very different environment, culture altogether. Like people work very different in Japan compared to the way we work in India. Like India mein, whenever you work with anyone, all that matters is output. Ki ha kaam, like iska impact kya hai wo batao. And wahan pe all that mattered was process. Like show us the 10 steps you did. Like we won't even talk about the output. Just show me the process that you followed. That was a different kind of working style. So got to work across different geographies. There was another project I did in Thailand. So was there for a year. And McKinsey has this very interesting policy where either every week you can come back to India or you can travel somewhere else. Like equal amount of money mein. So that 1 year I got to kind of explore all of Southeast Asia. So weekends I used to go to Cambodia, then I went to Vietnam, Hong Kong, Indonesia. So just kind of traveled a lot, explored multiple places. That was fun part. So this is all on the non-work wala part, but work-wise also, like worked with one of the banks in India to launch their whole complete digital offering. I think one of the biggest projects we ever did out of McKinsey. I was there with these clients across 3 separate projects on like 3 years. So completely kind of transforming what they did, which was again just working with the chairman of the bank and kind of seeing the journey from where they started to where they ended. Just phenomenal the kind of work I got to do there. So overall, McKinsey was, I think that's the place where I learned the most till now. Like every year, every project, someone or the else always used to push your thinking, the way you talk with people, the way you analyze the problem, just everywhere. And people are so invested in your learning. There's this feedback culture that's there in McKinsey where uh, people will actually actively set up a feedback call or discussion with you every 2 weeks where they will give you very constructive, actionable feedback. Abhishek, you are doing these 3-4 things really well. Please double down, and this is how you can kind of do those things better. These 3-4 things might not be so good, so yahan pe kuch, like, this is how you can potentially fix it. And having someone so much invested in your growth, your development, really makes a difference. Generally in life, what happens is you learn by your own mistakes. कि हाँ कुछ तो कभी कभी खुद को समझ में आ जाता है कि oh, this is something I can do better, and it happens by chance. Like, you don't actively invest in your learning.
And why did you decide to then? Why didn't you end up staying there until you became partner, or why did you move out of McKinsey?
So what happened was, initial few years it was every 6 months kuch to naye, like, it was very new learning environment. Either you are working on a bigger problem, more diverse problem. Second, third year, say you become associate, you take ownership of your complete work stream. Then you become a manager, so you kind of try and develop a new skill set itself. Like, I became manager early, so 3.5 years. So 2018, I became manager, and I had like team of 15 people or so when I kind of made it. So just it was a very good learning atmosphere itself. But after a point in time, it like, as you get promoted, end of the day, it's all about sales. Like, how many projects you can get, how many clients you can potentially acquire. Till you are manager, it's all about problem solving. कि ये problem है, go and figure out why it is happening and what can you potentially do to solve it. And after that, it's more about sales. Like, how do you convince a client to kind of come on board. I didn't really want to do that. And second thing that happened was, like, somehow I got sidetracked from my original goal in life. कि मुझे खुद को कुछ करना है. Like, I want to start something of my own. So I used to kind of give a lot of ज्ञान, so to say, कि अच्छा ये कर लो, like, this is my advice and this is what you can potentially do to increase your, or like, improve your operations or so on and so forth. After a point in time, it was not that satisfying telling someone else to do XYZ when I think I could have kind of done it better. Or मैं खुद क्यों नहीं करूँ अगर ये कर सकते. Like, if I can tell someone else you can do things better, why can't I start something of my own and kind of do it? So that's where kind of the change happened. I wanted to kind of go into a real world environment where working inside a company and building that company out rather than just advising other companies on how to do things. And that's what kind of led to the shift. So yeah, decided to kind of, and this was COVID times. So all of us were working from home. And the best part about McKinsey was working with very smart people. And when you're working from home, working on Zoom, I think the experience is not same at all. It's not fulfilling nahi hota hai itna. It's just patchy experience. So I think that was another reason why it happened ki theek hai, thoda aur kuch karna hai. So that's when I kind of decided to make the switch outside.
So tell us about what is it that you did after that, and how did that come about, and why do you do what you do?
So what happened was, around that point in time, a lot of these recruiters, kind of, actually even before that, recruiters used to always come out ki acha, this is some role or offering there, would you want to interview and stuff. So I was generally giving some interviews ki, and even before I finally decided to move out, I used to just give interviews ki chalo practice ho jayegi, aur kuch nahi to market mein kya hai wo pata chal jayega. So I used to give this, and then one day this recruiter called me and he said ki Mukesh Bansal is basically looking for a chief of staff. He has recently joined Tata, and would you want to kind of interview with him? I said, okay, wow. Like, even if like, I don't know if I want to do the job or not, or like kind of do like do I want to join Tata or not? But definitely, if I'm getting a chance to kind of even talk to Mukesh, like, very good. Like, ये तो opportunity लेना चाहिए. And that first kind of conversation led to multiple other conversations. I decided to kind of move out. So that's how the shift really happened. So I joined Tata, where I think most of you would have seen the advertisements, and also Tata Neu is the product we launched there. Where idea was that we wanted a super app for everything, so you can have medicines, electronics, groceries, all inside one app itself, and like bound through a loyalty program. So that's what I did for almost 1.5 years. And then when Mukesh decided to kind of start a venture studio, which is where I work right now. I decided to kind of move from Tata to Meraki Labs. So right now I'm at Meraki Labs. What we do here is we kind of build companies from scratch on areas or ideas where we have some conviction. So that's what we do right now. Currently, I'm working on a Gen AI startup where we are looking to kind of build something in this space on top of LLMs. So yeah, that's what we are exploring and figuring out.
What is it that you've learned from Mukesh Bansal that you can share with us?
Long-term thinking. What happens is generally you take a lot of short-term decisions in life. Like वो होता है कि अच्छा 2 साल में where will I reach? Lot of people after kind of McKinsey also when we leave we are कि अच्छा strategy role कर लेंगे 2 साल में फिर we will take a P&L business role and maybe grow from there. Or it might be कि maybe I will work with this company for 2 years and then I might get a like 40-50% hike if I change jobs, and that's how you change like 4-5 jobs. I think that's a traditional way of kind of thinking. I think one of the things I've learned from him is think very long term. Like compounding happens slowly, but it gives you tremendous amounts of results if you stick to something for a very long period of time. I think you would have read this online also, like like if you improve 1% every day, you will be like 35 times what like compared to where you started. Just focusing on improving yourself or whatever you're doing every day and sticking to it for a long period of time. Be it learning something. What happens is, like I started learning, let's say Gen AI, I started reading about it. Generally what happens is after maybe 1 or 2 months, you will get bored and you will leave it. And that's where compounding stops. But what I've seen him do is, if he picks up something, he kind of is with that thing for a long period of time. And that's what really kind of leads to compounding and like disproportionate results. One of his other principles is he has this kind of no means not now. You will kind of hear many no's in life. You will have failures, like CAT for example, nahi clear hoga first time, or IIT mein hota hai, nahi hua. And in a startup journey, you will go to 100 investors and 90 of them will say no, ki we won't fund you. Like it doesn't matter who you are, what background you have. Most of the people will say no. And the way to interpret that no is not now. Maybe abhi nahi hai, but sometime in the future you can still do it. And generally what happens is once you hear some no, you kind of take it on your own thing and you stop there. But that's the other thing he does really well. Even if it doesn't matter some obstacle, someone says no, you still stick to it. And somehow, somewhere down the line, it happens.
Awesome. That was really well articulated, Abhishek. So yeah, let's continue. You said that you currently work on a Gen AI startup. You're trying to do something on the top of large language models. What is your outlook for the startup ecosystem from here on, given I think it's been a challenging year relative to how, I mean, the period from 2020 to early 2022 was just mind-blowingly fast growth for startups. I think we minted like tens of unicorns in the shortest period of time, etc. And I think visibly the mood has changed. But what is your view on it, given that now you work so closely in the ecosystem, and if you were to put your consultant hat to the problem, how do you see it, and what are the exciting areas for future entrepreneurs or future managers who are going to get out of B schools looking for opportunities to either work in as for jobs or even to start companies? What would be your advice for them?
Got it. So these ups and downs are part of life. Like what you mentioned, right now the funding environment is really bad. Last year, I think very few startups got funded, but in 2020, 2021, a lot of them got funded. And this cycle kind of keeps repeating. So I think abhi maybe ye saal kharab hoga, but next year it might become better. So you can't time the cycles. It's okay. Like cycles will come and go, but if you really want to be a founder or if you want to start something, just focus on the problem. Doesn't matter if it's a up cycle, down cycle. If you really focus on adding value, you are sure. Like basically, if you're creating something which adds value in someone's life, you will make money. Like what happens generally, if you just create some solution and then try to invent a problem for it, things won't work out. But if you focus on the right kind of problem and build products which really add value, the startup will work out. Like Zepto, for example, people really wanted convenience, and they solved the convenience part. So it kind of really kind of picked up. And that's the case across anything. If you are really solving a fundamental problem in life of people, things work out. So that's at least my thinking. If you're building a startup, doesn't matter what cycle funding aa raha hai, ja raha hai, like all of that is transient. You just focus on the right thing. People who are there just for the glory of it or for the money of it, I think they generally kind of in this down cycles they go out. But people who are really focused on solving problems, they make it. And one thing I will just add on this is, don't there's this because of all the shark tanks and media kind of fanfare around startups, a lot of people think ki, oh wow, startup karoge to bahut paisa banega and let's say sure short way of becoming a billionaire or whatever. That's not really true. If you really want to make money in life, I think it's better to do roles like consulting, where risk adjusted basis you will actually make decent amount of money, be it finance or consulting, if your objective in life is money. Startups mein the success rate is so low, very few people end up making money, and जब पैसा भी बनता है तो it's like 10-15 years after you start working, so it's not as if you will see great success for those 15 years. Like just to take one of Mukesh's example, he started Mentra in 2006 and 7. 2011 is when they pivoted. It started as a corporate gifting startup when Mentra started. 2011 is when he pivoted to actually fashion. IPL and all was happening. They started printing this jerseys for one of the teams, I think Rajasthan Royals or something, and it got a lot of traction. That's how they kind of pivoted to a fashion startup. They got some funding, and finally the cash, like let's say the sale happened in 2014. So 7-8 years, it was just a tough journey. It's not as if you make a lot of money during that time. And Mukesh might be an exception. Most of the startups don't work out. So if money is the objective, please do any of the safe roles. You risk adjusted basis where you will make a like decent life, live very happy. But if you are if you're really itching from inside ki koi key problem solve karna hai or really you want to build something, then startup is for you. But do it for the like होता है ना, journey के लिए करो, outcome के लिए मत करो. There will be one day you might make something or you might make nothing. But if you're really excited about kind of building great things, solving great problems, then only startups are for you. On your other thing on potential people who might be passing out or what they can do kind of different, I think all of you should pay attention to whatever is happening in Gen AI. I think it's a, and based on my at least understanding, it's a fundamentally it's a fundamental breakthrough. It's similar to what happened when internet actually came in. So these kind of things happen once every like 30-40 years, where the face of industry really changes in next 10 years. So the way it happened with internet, all these offline businesses went online, and you had so many new companies kind of starting, be it Uber or Amazon or Flipkart, like Ola, like all of these very different businesses model kind of came in. I think similar thing will happen with Gen AI, at least based on my understanding. Maybe it's all fraud, but at least I believe so. The way you do work will be very different. Like right now, let's say you are in any job, you work with 10 softwares, or usme ye click karo, wo click karo. Like it's all very different. It's all very complicated to kind of do work. All of that, because of this large language models, will be massively simplified. Right now, at least we see the potential. It might take some time for the products to be built in. So it's next 5 years, 10 years, where all of this will happen. But whatever job you are doing, let's say some of you guys might be coders, Abhi. I have people, and you would also have seen it, 80% of the work is gone. If you leverage a chat GPT for your work, like for a coding work, I think 80% of it is not required anymore. And that's what will happen across multiple roles, is my belief. So you should just be cognizant of what kind of work you are doing and what could be the potential disruption that could happen on that particular role because of Gen AI. So yeah.
But what if I can't understand the basics of the backbone of the AI itself, right? Which is how the LLM has been trained, and what is the technology behind it? What is the computing that goes into actually making it happen? Do you think that people who can just think of applications can also do well, or do you think that it will now become a domain of engineers who understand the basics of how the AI was built itself, who will thrive as compared to those who are just application users?
I think the great thing about what has happened with ChatGPT and AI is that anyone and everyone can build on top of it. You don't really need to know how the LLM was created, like how GPT-4 was created. Doesn't matter. You just need to understand कि उससे हो क्या सकता है, like what are the applications that can be created or what are the capabilities that it has. Like people, even the people who have created this LLMs, they understand the steps that have gone into building it, but they also don't understand अंदर से क्यों काम कर रहे हैं. It just happened, and like there is research happening in terms of understanding why they really work so well, but even they don't know it. So definitely for people like us who want to build some applications on top of it, it's not required. I know of a person who is not a coder. He I think did a bachelor in arts or something. Recently, last 6-8 months back, he had this idea and he kind of went through this whatever was happening in Gen AI, read up a bit on it, ki what are the potential applications, and figured out ki he wanted to do something for India. So he basically used ChatGPT, created a complete website for legal professionals. So what happens generally in legal profession is you kind of refer to a lot of case laws. जब भी कोई case like when you go and fight a case, you refer to जब previously XYZ year में ये case हुआ था, उसमें ऐसा judgment हुआ था, and that's why like that's the supporting documents you give. So it's a lot of research work that is involved. So this person basically created a legal search website leveraging Gen AI, knew zero coding. पूरा चैट जीपीटी के थ्रू प्रॉम्प्टिंग करके इन नेचुरल लैंग्वेज जस्ट सेट कि अच्छा मुझे ऐसा बनाना है, दिस आर द फंक्शंस दैट इट शुड हैव. ChatGPT created the complete code. He has a website up, and right now he's selling to all these law firms these services. So you don't need to know coding. You don't need to know what goes inside LLM. What you need to understand is what is the power of LLM, what are the potential applications, and second thing, what you really need to focus on, what is the problem statement you want to solve, which is the core thing. Like if you know there is a customer segment for whom there is a big issue, and maybe you can leverage LLM to solve it, I think you can do it. It doesn't require any expertise. It's not a domain of engineers, and that's where I think the fundamental disruption. Earlier it was कि only if you knew coding you could do so many cool things, but now if you know nothing about coding, that doesn't matter. If you want to build applications, earlier तुम्हें team hire करना पड़ता था and you had to work with them for 3-4 months. Now you don't need to do that. You can yourself just talk with GPT and create your code. So it's that simple.
Sure, but there is still a dependence on the integrity and the stability of GPT-4 because I'm relying on that to build my business / whatever, right? So I mean, it's just a question I have that eventually if I don't, it's like, one of those things where, suddenly somebody changed an algorithm in search or in performance marketing, etc. It changes the business metrics of all the businesses. Similarly, if the basic nature of AI changed, and if as an application builder I don't know what is going on underneath, can it pose a potential risk to my business? Maybe it's too far ahead that I'm thinking, but it was just one of those things that I was worrying about.
That's a fair point. When this GPT 3.5, and I don't, some of you guys might have heard of DALI 2 that came in last year. So some people kind of created layers on top of DALI to kind of start a business. There was this one guy who started a business wherein you could upload any photo and it gave you like 4 professional photos based on any random photo de do tumhara, and you could use those professional photos for LinkedIn or let's say any place. So that was his thing. He kind of made it work. Now with DALI 3 and other things, all of that is gone because these wrappers that people have created, they become moot. So in 1 year, like I think that Lensa tha, I think the startup, the application ka name, it made $1 million or something, and then now zero. So yes, it's definitely a risk. What might happen is these people who are creating LLMs, they might become so good, or they might add more functionalities which makes your business defunct. So you have to be careful about that. But if you focus on some particular problem statement, a niche where it won't be exciting for them to do anything about, I think then you can kind of create your value. And second is there are multiple options. So earlier it was only OpenAI and GPT 3.5 which had power, but now there are multiple open source models. Even if whatever happens to, let's say tomorrow OpenAI decides कि नहीं मुझे pricing 10x से बढ़ाना है, so that might disrupt your business model. But now there are other open source models out there which you can leverage, which are super cheap. Like there's Mistral company started like about a year back. They have a model out there which is as good as GPT 3.5, and you can use it like for anything that you are doing with ChatGPT. So there are multiple options out there in the market. So I think it's okay. I think you can build on top of it. If you're in the game, you will learn and you will figure out a more tangible business to build. What is your moat, like, and how you kind of build it out.
Awesome. This was super insightful, Abhishek. I'm going to open up the floor for questions.
Hi Abhishek, my name is Jayachan. So I was wondering, like currently I work in analytics. So my background is in mechanical. I decided that I really wanted tech and management, but in the long run, I want to see myself in the field of management with the knowledge of how tech works. So and McKinsey, as many people, it's an aspirational thing. How a person from a tier 2 or a tier 3 can like prepare themselves to get into McKinsey.
Got it. I think for McKinsey, it's all about case studies. If like, I'm assuming you are joining one of the MBA schools.
I don't know.
Are you no?
Not this year.
Okay, so one way of high probability is actually do an MBA. McKinsey hires a lot from MBA schools. All of these top IIMs and ISB. I think in my year it was 60 people per year, and now I think it has gone up to 120 or something like that. So that's a very short way. If you do any, if you do an MBA from any of the IIMs, it really improves your chances. Off-campus hiring is not that prevalent. Happens not that frequently. The other way in which you can go to McKinsey is if you really have expertise in a particular domain. Those kind of people are even hired outside like campuses. So let's say if you are really a tech architecture expert, or you really know about marketing or sales or I don't know, supply chain. So if you have a domain expertise where you have worked in that particular domain for a few years and you really have a lot to contribute, those kind of people are also hired, which are off campus. So there are two ways. So generalist role generally happens from an MBA campus, and for expertise roles, those kind of happen through referrals and other things.
So my name is Kavya, and I'm currently a fresher. I gave my CAT 2023, but it didn't go as expected. And I am passionate about pursuing a career in management consulting. So my question is, what skills or like the area of expertise does the MBB firms expect from a candidate while recruiting them from, while recruiting them for a management consultant role, being a fresher?
Got it. So being fresher is really not a issue. There are a lot of people, like even people who joined with me in McKinsey, most of them like were freshers, so that's not really an issue. What generally we look for is throughout your profile, there should be some spikes, at least 2 spikes. It's okay if you're average or below average in other areas, but you need to have 2 very strong spikes. And the areas generally which are considered is, one is just academics. Let's say in academics, if you're really good, you have, I don't know, some gold medalist in some Olympiads, or you have JE rank or something which really stands out. Ki, oh, you're really very smart. So that's one area. Second area is leadership abilities. If let's say in your undergraduate college you are head of जैसे Mood Indigo होता है IIT Bombay, if you are head of that Mood Indigo, or anywhere you even outside, if you have displayed some kind of leadership abilities, you were head of something, you took lead and kind of delivered that thing over like 1 year or 2 year, that really matters if you have actually demonstrably shown leadership abilities. The third thing which matters is experience. It's if it's not there, it's fine. But if some of you have job experience and you have done really cool work there where you can show some kind of impact with a good brand, it matters. And the fourth is extracurricular activities, where let's say if you're a sports person, wherein you have won a national medal or a state medal, or let's say you are a dancer and you have Bharatanatyam, you have done some courses and you have won certifications and performed at some level. So something which really stands out, because see, average, like if you're all average, generally you won't get noticed. And we really, and in McKinsey when I was there, we really wanted to hire people who had definite spikes, where you have outperformed on something. And the reason behind that was, if you have really outperformed on something, we knew ki you have the ability to put in hard work and really achieve great things. And if you have done great things in one domain, you can do it in other areas also. So just try and develop these spikes wherever you can. So
right.
going ahead
I also have a follow-up. So is it like the MBB firms only hire freshers or any candidate with a good profile from a tier 1 college, may it be in their undergrad or in the postgrad, or are there better chances for students who are like who don't get chances of making it to the top ABCs or XLRI or somewhere, and we end up like finally into another university or a tier 2 or tier 3 college? So does MBB firms come and hire students there for management consulting profiles?
See, generally, it doesn't happen. At least McKinsey, BCG, Bain, they will go only to tier 1 campuses. IIM, ABCL, XLRI, sometimes Jamnalal Bajaj, sometimes SP Jain, and ISB. But uske alawa campus pe to they don't go. What happens is sometimes people directly just apply and once in a while someone goes through. But it's really tough if you don't join either a very good undergraduate college or a very good postgrad college to get placed from the campus. But the other route wherein it doesn't matter what college you have done, if you have developed some kind of expertise in whatever domain. So let's say if 3, 4, 5 years you worked in supply chain across multiple firms and you have achieved something, for those kind of people, it doesn't matter what college they came from. Like if you have something really critical to add, you will get hired. Or the other ways, recently what has happened is, even if you're working for some other company where you have done really well, those kind of people also kind of apply to McKinsey and they kind of make it through.
Abhishek, it was absolutely delightful listening to you. Thank you for being so energetic, passionate in your answers, and helping us understand the world of consulting. I think your passion for Gen AI comes out quite clearly as well at this point of time, and I think a lot of the learning from your journey is going to be very, very useful for a lot of these guys. Guys, can I request a big round of applause for Abhishek?